So let me show you a couple things about doing lettering on a vertical surface like the side of my pinstripe box right here. Now I'm just going to hang out with you through this whole video, so we got 6 minutes together, so grab yourself a cup of coffee and let's get started. Thing one is I am chiseling my pinstripe brush here, or my quill, whatever you want to call it, lettering brush. So I have one flat side and one long side. And what I'm doing is I'm using the flat side as my main side for all of my letters, for the width of my letters. And then anytime I have to go around the letter, like I did with the top of the P, or the bottom of the P, when it comes around, it gets a little bit more narrow. I use the chisel side for that. But the one thing that a lot of people don't think about when they are doing vertical lettering is this: the build-up of paint in the belly of that brush. Now, gravity is a thing. I think that's what Newton said. And the paint is going to find the lowest point of the brush. So when you're doing vertical lines like this, or vertical letters like this, the paint is going to want to come backwards towards the handle. So it's a little bit more difficult to get a longer line out of vertical lettering. So one thing you could do is you could do an upstroke instead of a downstroke like I'm doing. I'm doing downstrokes here, but the letters are only about 3 inches high, 3.5 inches high, so I could get away with it. But if you are doing long block letters, or you have it already laid out and you're filling in the middle, sometimes it's easier to do an upstroke. But with these letters, for an example, I'm not really good at doing upstrokes with lettering in just like a one-stroke type motion, so I'm going down. But I have to repalette every time and bring the paint off the belly of that brush back to the tip so I can continue my letters. If I don't, all the paint will come from the hairs onto the ferrule, onto the handle, and all over my fingers, and it's a mess. So after every time I make a line or finish a letter, I go back and I repalette and I reload the brush, and I get all the paint that wants to drip onto that ferrule back into the hairs. Another thing that I want you to pay attention to is what I'm doing with my hands. I'm not turning my hands at all. I am keeping my hands fixed, and I am letting the brush and the chisel of the brush do its thing. I'm not compromising that handle at all. I'm not twisting at all. I'm just doing nice straight lines that I'm trying to keep as consistent as possible. I don't want thin to thick, thin to thick, thin, thick, thick, viv. I just want everything to be consistent and clean. That is one thing that I see a lot of new lettering artists do, is I don't see consistency in the lines themselves. The line quality, just like scrolling, just like dagger style, it's all about line consistency. Line consistency, and also, in this case with lettering, spacing between the letters. So this is a long casual I'm doing right here. It's a nice basic font, and you can really jam these letters together. It's meant to be jammed together, so you could have a letter like pinstriping on the side of a 6-inch box. Or if you're doing letters and names on ornaments, or anything that's narrow that you gotta jam a bunch of letters into, you don't have a lot of space for, this long casual is really nice. So this long casual here is kind of my take. It's like a one-off of a normal basic casual. I do have posters of this coming out onto my website, tntcustompaint.com. So if you want this alphabet print for reference in your shop, so you could do whatever you want with it, by all means, go over there, check it out, and let me know what you think about these letters, because I've been having a lot of luck with them. I've been using them all over the place, and people seem to love them, so I hope you do as well. A little bit of a shameless business plug right there. Oh, look, coffee. And this video is about to wrap up, so I will leave you alone and let you enjoy the last couple letters by yourselves. I hope you learned something. Let me know what you think about this font style down in the comments section, and what you want to see next. As always, cheers.
inside my head.